One of the central locations of Star Wars Jedi Survivor is Koboh. It's full of plant and animal life native to the planet, but Cal also comes across Boglings, and somehow, Oggdo has returned, or at least his spawn. So how did these two creatures from the planet Bogano make their way across the galaxy to Koboh? Their databank entries don't give us much. Spawn of Oggdos reads, "What was begun on Bogano has now spread beyond its bounds, seemingly unstoppable. Is this Oggdo the spawn of the legendary Bogdo, bent singularly on revenge for its fallen progenitor? It is impossible to say, but what is certain is this fearsome beast is as powerful as it is long-tongued." The Boglings entry reads, "The humble Bogling was thought endemic only to Bogano, but has somehow crossed the distance, and heckles of the creature now thrive on Koboh. Fluffy and agile, their ability to run on their toes gives them great dexterity amongst rocky and craggy terrain." So really, the answer to this question is left up to the player's imagination, so let's imagine. I think the obvious answer is that someone is responsible for introducing these creatures to Koboh, which is the same origin I would assume for the two rancors. In fact, a conversation with Har in the saloon tells us exactly that. A crew of smugglers apparently lost a shipment of young rancors in the caves of Koboh. But I have a different headcanon for the creatures of Bogano. It makes the most sense that it would be Cal and Grease's fault. The Bogling is the easy one to figure out. Cal welcomed a frightened female Bogling onto the Mantis in Fallen Order. In the book Battle Scars, we see that it was still on the ship years later. We don't exactly know how or when Grease gave the Mantis over to Cal, but whether it was before or after he moved to Koboh, I like to think he kept the pet. When they arrived on Koboh, he probably let it roam free around Rambler's Reach. We know that Boglings reproduce by laying eggs, so maybe the Bogling stowaway was pregnant the entire time, and so it laid some eggs, reproduced, and the little critters started to reproduce more and more. Sure, that's a long gestation period, but it's an alien creature. Maybe it stores several eggs for years and then lays a ton at a time. But what about the spawn of Oggdo? Certainly no one would have purposefully brought one of those terrifying creatures to Koboh. It is found locked away in a Bedlam Raider camp, so maybe we could use the same headcanon I used for the Rancors. Like someone brought a baby frog over, not knowing the danger they were in. But Bogano was like an ancient and forgotten world. I think it's possible the Mantis was once again responsible. Like maybe Grease landed the ship in some Oggdo eggs and they got stuck to the ship until one of them eventually fell off on Koboh. But that seems far less likely than my Bogling theory, so I'm gonna make up an even dumber theory. Maybe an enterprising enthusiast of aquatic life brought a small Oggdo tadpole to Koboh. Maybe Scuva Stev is responsible for unleashing this horror on the planet. During his journeys across the galaxy, he could have traveled to Bogano and discovered what he mistook for a fish. He captured it, tossed it in his little fish tank, and then brought it with him to Koboh. It quickly outgrew its tank, and so he set it free in one of the pools or rivers. Eventually, it could have made its way to the Bedlam camp, where it wreaked havoc until they were able to trap it. Who knows? I certainly don't, but I had the question and wanted to try to have some fun answering it. The truth is, it doesn't matter. The developers wanted to tie the second game to the first in some fun ways, and I love that they leaned into the horror of Oggdo Bogdo, one of the most challenging fights in Fallen Order, and the fact that it gives you a poncho at the end is just icing on the cake. But what do you think? How were the spawn of Oggdo and the Boglings brought to Koboh? Let me know your theories in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.